Hi, welcome back to my channel, and today we are discussing the Women's Prize. So basically, if you do not know, I read the Women's Prize shortlist every year. I generally start with the long list when the long list is announced, and then I move on to the shortlist and be like, okay, who's going to win and who is going to be one of my favorite authors of that particular year. And because whenever I read the Women's Prize, I always get some good recommendations, right? So in today's video, we are going to be discussing my Women's Prize predictions. Unlike the other years where I could finish the shortlist, unfortunately this year I did not finish the shortlist. So there are 6 books in the shortlist. I've read 4 of them. One was kind of a DNF for me because I really could not get into it, and the other one is still ongoing. Okay, so this is what I'll do. I will start by discussing my thoughts on the books that have been shortlisted for the Women's Prize, and then let's get into who should be the winner as per me. So let's start with the first book in the shortlist, and that is Black Butterflies by Priscilla Morris. And for me, this is one of my best fictional reads of 2023. Basically, this book is set during the siege of Sarajevo, where there is a Serb woman who is stuck in the city. Now, if you do not know much about the Bosnian War or the siege of Sarajevo in general, then I highly recommend you read on these topics because you will need some context in order to get into it. But I think, for me, what happened was I read the book and then later on read the other material regarding the war and started listening to podcasts from survivors of the Bosnian genocide, and that's how I got into it, right? So absolutely recommend this book. The next book in the list is Pod by Laline Paull. I am pronouncing her first name incorrectly and I realized that, but this is the book that I actually kind of DNF. Now, I mean, honestly, I don't know it's the book or it's me, but this book is set in a very fictional underwater world where there is this animal called Iya, and she's a type of a dolphin. And it's very interesting to see the world and explore the world. But unfortunately, even after getting into 10% of the book, because I have this book on my Kindle, I could not really comprehend what was going on, and the world building in itself did not appeal a lot to me. So I do not know much about this book, honestly, because I am judging it after reading 10% of the book and saying that it quits. But if you have read this book and have thoughts about it, please put it in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about it. Then the next book is Fire Rush by Jacqueline Crooks. And this is, I think, one of the unique books in the list as for me. All books are unique, but this is kind of based in the 70s UK in and around London, where a lot of Caribbean migrants are facing racism, and also it also involves music and the disco era which was there at that time, and how it kind of changed the landscape for a lot of people, especially for a lot of Caribbean immigrants or Jamaicans living in the cities around here. So this is the story of Yamaye, who's the protagonist, and it's I mean, for me, this book did not create much of an impact. It looked very unrelatable to me. Unrelatable is the option, because I do not relate to the disco culture. I do not know much about I mean, I'm aware of certain history, but I'm not aware of the complete history of the of Caribbean immigrants in the UK and things like that. But I think this book was very much concentrated on the underground illegal activities and things like that, and that's why I did not like this book much. Now, of course, the audiobook has some music to go with it, because Yamaye has she's like a DJ, you can say, and an MC, and she raps a lot. So there are a lot of rap verses in the book as well that might interest you. But yeah, honestly, this did not work out for me. Then the next book in the list is Trespasses by Louise Kennedy, and I really like this book a lot. And the reason I'm saying this is because for someone who has been reading a lot of Irish history recently, this is one of those reads that will help you understand the history much better. So this book is set in Belfast during the Irish Troubles, where Catholics and Protestants would not see eye to eye, and it's in the middle of all this that a Catholic girl, I forget the main character's name. She basically starts dating a married older Protestant man, and that is their story. It is set during the Troubles. It talks about the attitudes of the people who get to know about this have against this relationship or with this relationship. And I think this encompasses that, the in a fictional sense, it does encompass a lot of things that were happening in Northern Ireland during that particular time. So I do recommend this one, if especially you like Irish history. If you're reading more Irish history, then this is a book that you should try out, for the not only for the content and the subject matter, but also for a lot of other emotions that it evokes as well. Then the next book that I read was Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. And Demon Copperhead is one of those masterpieces, I would say, that you really can't get over. Like, even right now, talking to you about this book, I'm thinking about it, and I highly recommend this read because of not only its content and subject matter and things like that, but for its character development. So the way it starts is that Damon, or Demon, okay, he's nicknamed as Demon Copperhead, is actually a young boy when he is surrounded by addicts, especially addicts with respect to OxyContin and things like that, and it's the entire opioid crisis that's going on in the Appalachian region, and things happen around him. He's sent to foster care, and it's his sad journey from there. But the way he develops as a person despite all these hardships, the way he develops as a character despite all these hardships, I think that reflects a very true nature of humankind in general. Like, you cannot predict how the book is going to end, right? And that's what I loved about it, and absolutely loved it. Even if this is not my most favorite book out of the books that I have read so far, I still give this a total 5 stars, and I absolutely love it, no matter what. And that gets me to the last book in the shortlist, and that is this one. This is The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. And for me, The Marriage Portrait is something that I wanted to really devour. And the reason, I did start reading this book a couple of weeks back, but I wanted to take my time with it. I didn't want to rush it for 14 June, and I didn't want to rush it till the very end. And that was my biggest thing. No rushing things, nothing doing. I want to take my time with this book. And so far, this book is very good. It's very nice. I won't be surprised if, this wins the women's prize. Honestly, I keep my thoughts reserved as of now, and maybe later on we will discuss this. So yeah, talking about the rankings, the ratings, things like that I really want to discuss, right? For me, of course, I always do this thing where I'm ranking books from 6 to 1 maybe, and out of which the 6th book has to be Pod, because I actually DNF'd it because it was just too difficult to get into, or maybe I was not in the mindset to get into it. So for the sake of this video, I'm putting it at number 6, although I won't be surprised if it wins. I mean, I don't know if it has probabilities of winning, because again, like I said, did not go beyond 10%, but yeah, this is something that I think might be a contender when it comes to winning the prize. Okay, and then moving on to the 5th book that I think would be there, right? Because for me, my 5th book has to be Fire Rush, actually. Fire Rush by Jacqueline Crooks. And the 5th, this is the reason I keep it like the 5th book, or like the 5th least likely book to win. Because anything at the bottom is least likely, anything in top 3 is most likely. I just feel like, I don't know, it's very disconnected in nature, although the jury, the jury loves it. And I was listening to the podcast which the Women's Prize has, and it's very interesting on what they think about the price. It's very interesting on what they want to say about the book, but honestly I do not think this will win. I mean, if it wins, it's a slap on my face, but yeah, like, the least likely book to win. That is on the fifth place. Okay, fifth place. Then coming to the fourth place, and I want to put Trespasses here. I think Trespasses is a good fit here because, yeah, I mean, I don't think it has like much probability of winning, although it is a good book, because there are better books than this in the list right now. So I'm putting Trespasses at the third, no, at the fourth position. Okay. So yeah, that's that. And then regarding the top three, so the top three for me would be a bit special because this is what I think. Okay, this is what I think, because we have removed the books that I think that are least likely to win. So I want to mention the top three books that are most likely to win: The Marriage Portrait, Demon Copperhead, Black Butterflies. Now, out of these three, any can win honestly, and I'll be happy with it. But I do think there is a tough competition between Demon Copperhead and Black Butterflies, and I feel based on popular opinion, Demon Copperhead can win. Okay, like this is my thought process at this point of time. But even if Black Butterflies win, I would be absolutely delighted, because again, Black Butterflies is my favorite fictional read so far in 2023. So the way I'm putting it is, third position would be, let's just say third and second position would be The Marriage Portrait, and on the first position I would keep Black Butterflies, and I would keep Demon Copperhead, and they are competing against each other for the first place. So these are my thoughts. Okay, and again, like I said, if like The Marriage Portrait, Demon Copperhead, or Black Butterflies, if any of these books win, I am totally happy, I am totally fine. If any from the bottom pile wins, then let's see. I don't know, that can also happen, because that happened last year with me, because Ruth Ozeki's book was at the bottom of my list, but still the book ended up winning. And I mean, I'm happy for the author, but the book did not sit well with me, because I DNF'd that book at 50%. Like, I literally DNF'd that book at the 50% mark because I couldn't get through it anymore, correct? And this is why I said Pod is one of the books that I DNF'd at 10%, and it still has chances of winning. Maybe it might be the oddball there, whatever it is. But yeah, I hope like one of my top three books win, and these are my predictions for the Women's Prize 2023. So yeah, that's it for this video. I just wanted to pop in before the prize is announced, in the next few hours, or like next 24 hours maybe, and tell you that these are my thoughts. This is what I think. Please digest them and let me know who will win. Who are your top three choices for the prize? Mention in the description box, and also give me a trophy emoji. Okay, emoji of a trophy. Thank you so much. See you in my next video. Bye.